Hello, gamers! Welcome to the stream! Oh boy, oh, it's Sunday already! Can you believe it? Oh god. It's just flying by anymore. Winter's like that, I guess. So we're going with the winter vibes today. Hello, everybody! Welcome in! Welcome to the stream! Welcome, welcome. So nice to see all of you, oh my god! Let's go, gamers! Oh wow, it's been quite a week for me. Oh, I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope you guys have been doing super duper. Alright, so we had a lot of conflicting votes on the lovely little poll I hosted yesterday. So, obviously, we're gonna be doing an art lesson today, but a lot of people really wanted to do some of the gaming, like Wobble Dogs. So we'll probably end up doing that next time, just because it seemed to be like a really cherished thing. So just so you guys know, that's what we'll do next time. Instead of doing a vote, we'll just work through the list. Because everybody seems really interested in everything, so just a matter of which one first. Oh goodness. So yes, today, gamers, we are going to be drawing a lot, animating a lot. I hope you brought your brains, cause what kind of intro is that? I hope you're ready to learn! Like, what do you mean? I'm so sorry. I'm so goofy right now. Yeah, cause I'm gonna be going over some basic animation stuff. Yo, Dizzy! Hi, Dizzy! I love your icon, and nice and festive. Thank you for the donation. Let's go. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So yes, we have quite a bit we're going to be doing today. I'll go ahead and redo that dono so I can come on the screen and say hello. There you go.
Hi.
Text-to-speech really killed the hype there. I'm not gonna lie. It was just like, hi. Like, it just long pause. Hi. I love the text-to-speech, it's so silly. If you want to donate, you're more than welcome to. It'll read out your message, whether you super chat or use the link in the description. It's all very much appreciated and keeps me uploading pretty much on a daily basis, so I appreciate the support. And if you want to submit fan art, because there's lots of fan art this time, you can do so by using the link in the description, and it'll appear on the next live stream. I went ahead and emptied out the folder because it was getting, like, really full, so it'll be starting fresh, brand new art starting next stream. I've just been recycling a lot of it because I really love it, and I really want to cherish it and look at it all, and love it, and cherish it, and love it, and look at it with my eyes! That's all. PSA. Anyways, so... Oh boy, where do I begin with animation? Oh, goodness gracious. Tyler!
Hey Hawley, my fries money wanted to sing you a song.
Oh!
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
I can't believe I'm literally 5 minutes into my stream and I'm getting rickrolled already. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. God. Oh, that was great. Oh, that's so wonderful. Alright, I see some questions in the chat. I'll do my best to answer those in between things. I am still working on Origins. It's just kind of on hiatus because I'm taking care of my mental health first. But I am working on the scripts here and there. I have a team of awesome people helping me with the scripts right now, and I'm taking it extremely slowly because Persona Project's my main project right now. That and Brightside. Brightside's my side project right now. Every now and then I'll do an episode of that. Oh goodness. Alright, so I have created like kind of like a syllabus, if you will, of what I think would be a good place to start for animation if you are like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's just kind of like some basic things. Why do I keep seeing MatPat in the chat? What is going on, gamers? Let's focus here. I'm so confused. So I made like a basic format of like things that I remember learning when I first started to animate, and I want to go over like a couple of basic things in case you've like never done this before. I mean, obviously you're gonna want to get a program that will allow you to play back your work and adjust your frames per second. Because playing it back is gonna be pretty crucial. Oh yeah, Mari!
Hello again. I hope you're having a Merry Christmas, Hawley.
Aww.
I have a joke for you. Why do ants never get sick? Because they have antibodies. Ha ha smile.
That's actually great! Can we make that a tradition? Can donos just tell me silly jokes all day? I'd be so happy. Antibodies, that's so good, Mari, thank you. I am so freaking holly and jolly this season. I don't know what has awakened in my soul, but this Christmas is hitting so different, and I love it, and I appreciate it so much. Oh my god. That's awesome. So, obviously you guys need a program if you're gonna follow along. You can, if you so desire. You could do the thing that I used to do when I first began. You can painstakingly draw each frame in MS Paint, export it, then open Windows Movie Maker and adjust each frame to be 1 second long to create very, very choppy animations if you really want to start like the worst way possible. That's how I started. I don't recommend it. There's so much better programs out there for free anymore, so yeah. Look at the Christmas spoiled child! So cute! Oh god. Okay, so to start, honest to god, everybody always swears by the bouncing ball animation. And honestly, I think that we're gonna start with something a little more practical and interesting, because I'm guessing most, if not all of you, who want to learn these things, like, you probably want to animate characters. You don't want to animate a bouncing ball. You don't want to animate a flower bag. You don't want to, you know, like, if you want to, we could skip, like, the what they call the fundamentals, because I honestly found them to be, like, interesting, yes, but, like, not really. I've never had to animate a bouncing ball in, like, 10 years that I've been animating, so yeah, like, it does not come in handy. I honestly, the things that I'm going to teach you today are things that you will use very frequently if you decide to animate frequently. So I'm using things that show up a lot in, like, all of my work. And these are, like, really common things that you should learn how to animate. So, the very first thing I want to talk about is your frames per second. I definitely recommend starting off really slowly, and I'll show you the difference between them. But the frames per second that I recommend or starting off with is 9, at least. 9 to 10 would be good. Anything lower is going to look really choppy. And then move up to 12, which is half the industry standard, and then go to 24. Anywhere between is going to get a little funky when it comes to breaking down your frames. So these are like my recommendations. So start with 9, move to 12, go to 24. Because 2s and 3s and 1s and 3s are really important. And 1s and 2s and all that. You will get into it. I, by the way, am in no freaking way a professional. Like, I'm just spouting off what I've learned from teaching myself for 10 years. Just about.
Hello again.
Oh.
I'm getting my wisdom teeth out, TMRW.
Gummy gumdrop! Oh my god, welcome back, and also good luck, dude. Oh my god, that's pretty rough. It's pretty nerve-wracking. Hopefully we can ease your anxiety today and keep you company. Cause gosh, that's a big deal. Enjoy lots of jello and soup. Goodness. Oh yes, I have done Art Fight Alligator. I have. I'm hoping to do it this year. Last year I was too mentally ill. But I would love to do it again. It's really fun. But yeah, I'm gonna animate on my 24 frames per second because that's what I'm used to, but I will tone it down to show you guys how to adjust things for different frame rates. So, first thing I want to teach you is very simple. Eye blinking. Blinking. Animation blinking. It's a very simple thing that most people don't think about, but there's ways to really make it look a lot better than just 2 frames. So, I mean, you can, you know, the hardest part about animation is drawing your character. So, you know what, let's go ahead. Let's just pretend we're animating an episode of Persona Project, right? So, we've got me, right? Because the very first frame you're gonna draw on your first layer is probably just gonna be the frame that's not gonna move the most. The frames that's gonna stay still for the most part. And then on my next frame, I'm going to do, or my next layer, sorry, let me use the right terms here. We're gonna do the actual eye blinking. Ugh, I'm having allergies as well. I'm so sorry if I'm being gross on Bane. The weather is being insane right now. Like, it was freaking negative 12 the other freaking day. Now it's back up to 40. I don't know what's going on around here. But, anyways. The first frame you're going to want to do is just, you know, what you want it to be the longest. Like, eyes open, right? Like, what you want it to be when the animation is, like, done. Like, so this is going to be the frame that's going to look the nicest. You want to make this one look pretty nice. All the rest of the frames, you could just do whatever, honestly. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's animation. You're going to literally blink, and it's, get it? How you're going to blink, and you're not going to see it. So, first frame you're going to want to do, eyes open. Now, usually most programs have, like, a light box feature, light table, whatever you want to call it, which allows you to see different frames behind and before them. And this is really, really crucial that you have something that allows you to see this. If you don't have something like this, you can always, you know, go the layer above it and kind of turn the opacity down so you can at least trace over it. That's your alternative if you don't have a fancy program. Obviously, the blink is really easy. You do your eyes open and then you do your eyes closed. And if you play it back, that's like the choppiest frame animation. That's 2 frames, okay? But we could make this better. And I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. So, I call these frames smooth frames. And it's a frame before and after of movement. And it's just literally, you're gonna trace as closely and as precisely as you can over your previous frames. Like that. So then, you kind of get a little wobble. Now you could adjust that depending on your frames per second. Since I have it at 24, I animate on 3s and 2s a lot. But if you're doing like 9, you could do like 2s and 1s. Or 12, you could do 2s and 1s as well. It really depends on what you want it to look like. But yeah, that looks a little bit smoother. I like the smooth frames because they add a little bit of, I don't know, realisticness to it. So then the thing that you're going to want to do now is your in-between. In-between, you know, where this little wiggle happens and the blink. Obviously, there's probably going to be a split second where your eyes are half closed. And that helps. And you can also be really lazy and copy this frame to the very end, so right before it loops, it'll open back up. But this is like a very slow version of a blink, just so I could show you what it's supposed to look like. Obviously my art style, it'd look a lot better if I added this little bottom part to the eyes, because then the, you know, blinking would look a little nicer. It really depends on your art style. But like that. I didn't really trace this exactly. You'll notice if you don't really trace it like all that perfect, it'll bounce around a lot, and the closer you can get with the smooth frames, the less bounciness you're gonna get. If you want it to be bouncy, then have your lines wobbly on purpose. But this is like a blink. But obviously you're gonna want to speed this up quite a lot. So I'm gonna go back to 2s and 1s here. And I'm gonna keep the wiggle frame on a 2, the in-between on a 1, and something like this. That's like a really extremely detailed eye blink. You could make it less detailed by removing one of the, like wiggle frames. And you could just kind of move your frames around to see what's gonna look good. Because, you know, there's different blinks, so like this, I would argue this is like a just waking up, like, focusing your eyes kind of blink. But the one I had previously, the one that was like slower, is definitely probably more of like a wonder, like, wow. So like, you know, the speed of the animation could play into the emotion as well. Hopefully I'm not losing anybody. We're only doing the eye blink right now. Because I think it's one of the easiest animations ever to like start out with. Because, I don't know, you'll use it a lot, man. You really will. You really truly will. Because, I don't know, like, I like to teach things that are actually practical and useful. Because the art stuff that I have learned, professional art stuff, it's just been kind of, like, stuff I've never used or stuff that I find boring, so. This is your basic eye blink. And then if you want to change emotions in between the eye blink, instead of, doing, like, eyes back open, you can change the emotion. But if you do that, you're gonna want to do a smooth frame. At least one. To, like, anytime you're gonna, like, change something, smooth frames are really recommended. You don't gotta, though. So now we have this. Which I'm gonna make a little bit smoother by getting rid of a couple frames, actually. Sometimes less is more, like, for real. So that's kind of the blinking lesson I wanted to go over. It's very simple. Obviously, if you want to do, like, a really fast blink, you're probably pretty much gonna get rid of, like, most of your frames. Like, you're gonna get rid of your in-betweens, and it's just gonna be like, boop. You have one smooth frame for the eyes open, a blink, and then the smooth frames again. Now that's like, this is my go-to, because I really like fast animation. You see that a lot in Persona Project. I do a lot of very quick motions because it's just my style. Oh gosh, okay, so that's like one lesson down, okay, and if I change the frame rate, I'll show you guys, like, how that'll affect this animation, because right now it's at 24, and as you can see I have, like, I'm on 9s, 3s, and 18s, the 6 18s, there we go. So, if we turn this down to 12, you're gonna notice it's really slow. In comparison. So obviously you're gonna work more on 2s and 1s. Mostly 1s, honestly. Maybe 2s. Yeah, 2s and 1s. Boom. And then if you go all the way down to 9, which my program doesn't even have that, it has 8, it's gonna be very slow. So that one you want to go all the way down to 1s. Which, that's why I recommend to start on it, because you don't have to figure out, like, all these weird, like, frame, how long to make each frame. It's very easy, it's just, like, 1 each. It's like, you can't really mess it up when it's that low. But it is, as you can see, very slow. I go, like, this is like how 9 frames would look in 24. Like, yeah, it don't look right. But yeah, that's my blinking tutorial. The other fun thing I think we should do are some ear flicks, like if you have like a cat or a dog. Because I think they're really fun and easy as well. And I know that people would really enjoy to learn how to do that. I'm basically teaching you a lot of animation meme stuff, so if you're like an animation meme person, this will probably help you out greatly. So, let's swap up the animation here. Let's swap out the character. Let's go for Imp from 12. So, you know, draw your character. Your character isn't gonna move very much. It's gonna be the ears that are gonna move. But we'll just animate one ear to start. Just so you have an idea of how that's gonna work. But when you do this kind of animation, I would recommend that you color this first. Wow, I forget that my own details of my own characters, like literally every live stream. It's kind of actually fascinating. Alright, so if we were to color this quickly, I definitely recommend at least having your coloring done, because you're going to animate on the layer below. Because, yeah, you're definitely going to want to go below. If you go above, you're going to be having to trace all this, and it's going to look kind of messy. So you're going to want to go a layer below. And I recommend turning the opacity down on your character so you can actually see behind it what you're doing. And you're just going to draw the ear, like, normal. Like, I'm just going to draw it like how I would if the layer was on. So it looks, you know, natural. And then turn it down. And then you're going to connect all your lines. So you have just a regular ear sitting there. Alright, so. Am I losing everybody? I feel like I'm just like, no, 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 no. Oh god. Okay, so ear flicking is usually like 3 frames, honestly. It's not very much. You're gonna want to go up. So just bring the ear up and then squish it down. So instead of it being like example, Imp's ear is round, it's gonna go into a half circle. If you have a triangle, you're going to want to flatten it a little bit, because it gives a nice little bounce. So it does like a little flick. But you're going to make it look a lot nicer by doing the in-betweens. So we're going to retrace, or the smooth frame, sorry. We're going to retrace the starting ear. So it can just flick right back. See? 3 pictures. Isn't that so easy? 3 pictures, that's all it takes. And my favorite thing to do is to duplicate my line art layer and then just color it in like a little coloring book. Just make sure all your lines are obviously connected. And then it's literally that easy to do a little ear flick. Just like that. 3 frames, 3s and 4s for that one. Sometimes when it comes to like a really gentle animation, I'll have the smooth frame be on a 4 or 5 even, to really exaggerate how soft it is. If it's like a really harsh animation, it'll obviously be faster, but since we're going for like just like a little ear flick, it's just a soft little, curious little, playful little thing. But yeah, that's also just an extremely easy one. I love doing ear flicks. They're so cute and they're so easy. It just adds so much character to like an animal, or even like a humanoid who has animal ears. Really fun. There's so many bats in the chat. This is crazy. Thank you for subscribing! Let's go! Bananas into the fruit bowl, gamers! Heck yeah! Heck yeah! Alright, so... Wow, we got a lot of mods today, let's go! Thank you, gamers. Alright, so that's the simple stuff here. I'm gonna move into something slightly more complex. And I think it's it's so fun. I can't help it. I want to animate all the time. So, let's do a tail wag. But we're gonna do a couple different tail wags, because there's a lot of different kinds of tail wagging. There's like a happy kind of dog-like tail wag that's really fast. And then there's like a smooth kind of sassy tail that's like a cat. There's lots of different tails, so we're just gonna do general tail animations, because I think they're really fun too. So, we're just gonna hop around all my projects today while we do this endeavor here. So let's do Wild Child. Wild Child has a tail. So we're gonna do a little Wild Child tail. And that'll be really fun. Because it's honestly the easiest one out of all of them, in my opinion. Because it's usually about 3 frames. The character's the complex part, usually, 9 times out of 10. This is why I always say, really solidify your art style before you start animation, because, I mean, look how fast I drew that, with absolutely zero sketch. Like, I obviously draw this character a lot. I'm also just gonna color her really quickly, just because it'll be easier to see what we're doing here. But yeah, I love copy and pasting my line art just so I can just literally make little coloring books. That's like half the reason why I love animating so dang much, is like making it a coloring book. Alright, so again, it's gonna be on the layer below. And I usually animate this on 4s. So it's usually 3 frames, but it's 4 frames per second. So, very simple. You're just gonna draw the tail where it normally be. And then you're gonna make sure that's connected. So you have like a flat tail, usually, or like a just resting tail. And then you're gonna want to bend it. Like really curve it up. And then do the opposite. Curve it down. And it's that easy. It's that easy. Obviously, you could make this a lot more complex, but that's kind of the tail wag that I used for Wild Child, or like a dog, like happily waving its tail. It's like usually about 3 frames. Obviously, you could make that a lot more if you so desire. But this is kind of the basic little tail wag that I'll do for Wild Child in Persona Project. 3 frames. It really is kind of like it's about understanding the line. Like, the line goes kind of like this. You have like a resting one, and then you have a bending one, and a bending one. And it kind of goes in this pattern. Like this. Almost like a jump rope. But you can obviously apply this to going up and down too. So let's say you have a dog tail that's up. You're going to want to bend it this way, and then bend it that way. And then you're going to get something like this, but obviously with more details. It would be something like this.
How awesome it would be to sell Persona Project coloring books. Someone in chat mentioned it, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I've had the idea. I really have had the idea to do PetPyves coloring books. I think it'd be so freaking rad. I'd have to find a manufacturer, but it would be so fun. I think it would be really fun. But yeah, 3 frames, all you really need. If you want to up it for more frames, like let's say we have this dog tail I just did, a really fun way you can do that is to do some in-betweens. So before we get to this point, I really like to play around with like how dramatic do I want this to be. So sometimes I'll go all the way over here and then kind of very dramatic swooshing motions. And then, you know, maybe, oh, let's dramatically bring it back this way, right? Swoosh it this way. And then you're gonna want to kind of adjust the animation depending on how many extra frames you add. Like, okay, yes, like, between this frame and this frame, sometimes I'll copy them and see what's in between these guys. The first frame and the last. And I'm like, oh, hey, maybe we're missing the fact that it needs to straighten out a little bit before we get there. See? Now that's like a really smooth tail wag right there. That's like lots of frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On 5s. That's on 5s. But you can really just get super creative with this, because like I love doing different kinds of tail wags for dogs and cats. It's just so fun. And every unique individual, every character has a different way they would wag their tail, so you can always kind of make it fit the character. Oh, Tyler, now you got me thinking about coloring books. I have thought about it. I have thought about it, and it's just a matter of I have a really difficult time getting out of the house. I'm not exactly able-bodied, so being able to like ship those kind of things out would be really hard for me personally. I'd have to find like a company that could do it for me, which tends to be quite difficult. Usually it's like if artists want to do that kind of thing, you have to manufacture it yourself and then ship it yourself, but I don't think I could get out often enough to do something like that on a regular basis, so once I find a place that could do that for me, I will let you guys know, and I'll probably end up putting it on my website. Just as of right now, not an option. I wish it was. So, it'd be so fun. I'd make so many. It would be. I would be so bad. I'd have so many art books. It'd be crazy. But yes, we'll move on from dog swishing tails. We'll go to cats now. Let's do cats. Goodbye, wild child. So let's do Cattail. We're gonna do Ivy from 12 because I think she's got a really fun little silhouette. And plus she's purple. Like, who doesn't love a purple cat? Alright, so let's do, again, bottom layer underneath your character. Now this one, I'm probably gonna do on 4s, because cats are very slow and dramatic. So I'm just gonna draw her tail at resting, which is usually something like an S. Something like a little sneak. And then it really depends on what the cat is doing, but I like to just do like a resting one. So I'm gonna copy this frame ever so slightly before it moves. And then we're gonna pull the S kind of dramatically back. And then you're gonna do like almost like a C. So it's gonna go kind of like this at first. Like you're unraveling the S, and it's gonna fall down.
I understand. My buddy Gatewood, who does those kayak videos, have these dry bags he sells, and he has to personally make mailing labels, package them himself, and take them to a UPS or other courier.
Oh.
It is a process. Hopefully you find a good option.
Thank you. Yeah, no, Tyler, you're right. It is such a huge process that nobody really talks about. That's why my shop has been closed for so long on my website, because, like, it is so hard to keep up with for me, and I'm only one person, and I'd rather focus on making videos. So it's like, if I can have a company do it for me, hey, like, that's so helpful to me, because I also just can't lift a lot of heavy things, so imagine me trying to carry a bunch of coloring books to the post office. It'd be so bad. But yes, so far a cat is kind of like, got the tail going down. And then you're going to want to go back up, so you're going to opposite that. And it's somewhere right here I will usually copy my first frame, just so I can see what I need to do to get it to that point again. So probably just a almost S. An almost S. So it'll be like this. You know, that's like a playful cat tail whip. That's like, I'm curious. What are you doing? And that's, I can color this really quickly too, because it'll just take 2 seconds to one color. But that's kind of my fun little, like, tail thing. It goes from S's to C's. S's and C's are my shapes when it comes to cattails. And how to get them to kind of move really fluidly. It's really, like, realizing that it's a line that you can bend. And it's a line that moves and flows. And that's how I do cattails. I mean, I love animating tails. I could talk about animating tails all day. God, thank you, mods. I need to clean my eyes sometimes by looking at the chat, but thank you for that. Donate with your words. It's the best advice ever, Core. That's so funny. Oh, God. Alright, so that's my cat tail tutorial, my dog tail tutorial. I love animating tail swishes so very much. I think they're very fun. They're very easy, honestly. Yes, they take more frames. This one takes about 7. You could go 6 if you wanted to be less intricate. But you can even go a lot faster too. If the cat's like mad, you can take away the extra wiggle frame, the smooth frame, and speed this animation up, and it'll be more of like a I'm mad kind of tail lashing. So yeah, speed plays into it 100%. The speed of your animation can play into how, you know, your character is feeling. So those are some very easy, kind of quick character animations that I like to do a lot. There are some more complicated ones, but I'm gonna put a poll in the chat to figure out what you guys would want to see first. Because I have a couple of options, and all are very easy, very simple, kind of like what I deem level 1 animation. But I'm gonna put a poll up here, blah blah blah, of what to learn next. We can either do particle effects, which is like rain, fire, I don't know, bubbles. And then we could also choose between learning complicated things like wind. Like if you want to do like, let's do like character complex. I don't know what to call this. Character. My face is missing? Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry. I pressed a button and I forgot that I have my hotkeys on. I apologize. I apologize for the horrors. Ignore the horrors. Ignore the horrors. I'm trying to type. Typing's very hard. Takes all of my dyslexia brain to focus. Just don't worry about it. Just evil Hawley is not a thing. Don't worry about it. LOL. Don't be scared. Don't be alarmed. It's fine. Don't clip that. No. Stop it. I'm trying to type. Let me focus. Shh, shh. Everybody, calm down. Okay, we're gonna do particle effects. Okay. Animation. Okay. Here's the poll. I'm sorry, it took all of my brain power to do that, and it took so much brain power my eyes vanished. God. Help me. Help me. It's funny because I have extra, like I have all these different emotes, and I have extra slots that I haven't used yet, so that's what, they're just empty slots that I haven't, like, filled up yet. But I will. I will fill them up. I want to do like a confused one. I have a couple of ones I need to add in. Now I'm just doing it on purpose, guys. Now I'm just messing with you. But yeah, we'll see what the chat would like to do here. Oh, we're doing like character animation, huh? Okay. I do love doing all of these things, so this is fine to me. Alright. Seems like the poll is very overwhelming in one favor, so we will go ahead and end it. We'll do character animation first. We'll probably have time to do both. So, fun! Yeah, we'll do that. I have a couple of different things for character animation. I will do the thing that people probably want to know most is head bobbing. Dude, it's like the epitome of animation memes. So we're gonna do a little bit of head bobbing animation. Oh yeah, we're going back in time. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pretend that it is 2018, 2017, 2016, and we're gonna learn how to do the head bobbing animation. And there's a lot of different ways we could do it, so I'm gonna teach you a couple different styles. And then we'll move on to the more complex character animation, like the wind blowing in hair, and other things like teleporting, like characters teleporting, stuff like that. So let's do head bobbing. So, let's pick a character. I'm gonna pick a bright side character. Let's do Mushio. Head bobbing! No! Do not turn me into a marketable head bobbing animation meme! Says Mushio, pleading, and I say, too bad! Where? I don't want to hear it. So, Otter, it's time to dink your order. Dinking order time. Hydration check, gamers. Time to hydrate. Alright, so. You're gonna start with the character below. Like, you're not gonna draw the face, which is really hard to do, so I recommend, you know, doing a sketch of, hey, this is where I want the head to be, right? I definitely recommend for this meme, for God's sake, make sure your whole character is visible, like the head doesn't get cut off at the top. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself, trust me. It will be a pain in the ass to try and fix later. So, there's my sketch. You're gonna want to do the parts that aren't gonna move on the bottom layer. So, like, Mushio wears, like, a little poncho and has a little scarf, so he's just gonna have those details there. Now, I usually color these in as I go as well, just because it will make my life easier in the future to be like, okay, stuff isn't, like, flailing around behind the animation that's confusing and distracting me. So there's a little body that I'm gonna put on hold, which my animation program has the ability to hold a frame on a layer, so that way I don't have to, like, you could just drag it for as long as you need it, but my program is insane. So, now you're gonna draw your head. On another layer, on the layer above this one. So, we got a little Mushio mask here. And just because I want to do it fancy, because I think Mushio would be perfect for this kind of meme. I'm gonna do the ears on a separate layer, so that way they can bounce differently. Okay. Now, I realize I probably need a little bit of neck here, which is kind of awkward. You're gonna have to tear apart your guy into some pieces, okay? Like, it's just gonna look kind of scary, and you're just gonna have to bear with it, on the layer below. But having the neck there might give you some leeway for when we do the bounce. So now I'm gonna color in my little mask, my little character here, Mushio from Brightside. Which, Brightside chill, if you haven't watched it, it's really good. It's literally my favorite project ever. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Alright, so we got the mask. Now, I'm gonna go in force, because I'm on 24 frames per second. What you're gonna want to do is make sure you have your light box on so you can see. You're gonna want your frame that's sitting still. And then you're gonna want to move your frame up ever so slightly. And then you're gonna want to do another frame down. That's like the fastest, easiest head bob, tweening kind of head bob animation of going up and down like that. You can make this a lot smoother by adding like a very, very, very slightly above, like moving up like that. You can see it's like just got a little bit of that smoothness that's just delicious. I love it. And that's like a little easy head bob. And normally you could put the ears on that too if you want, if you don't want to be extra. That's like head bob animation meme. But it is very Mystery Skulls. I saw that in the chat. You're so real for that. But on the layer below this, I'm gonna take the lesson I taught you earlier. Oh look, we're combining lessons. Oh, look at us, we're growing. And I'm gonna do the ear flick. But I'm gonna add it here. Mushio has 4 ears, so this will be really fun to do. I forgot to do the thing of... It doesn't have to look pretty because no one's gonna see this part. Just for the record. But I'm gonna do a little ear flicking to go with this animation because it'll just really make it look nice. But we're gonna have to change the timing a little bit, obviously, than doing 3s. Because, like, that's not gonna look right. I'll get it colored in first, though. I'm very glad I added the neck. Sometimes I don't need to add the neck, but sometimes you do. Use your best judgment. If it looks like your character's being decapitated, obviously, give it a neck. So, with this one, with this kind of animation, I'm gonna match the frame rate, so they're all gonna be on 4s. But since we're going up, the ears are staying in the same place, and that doesn't look right, so we're also gonna move the ears. The ears are gonna go up with the mask, down with the mask, and then I think I'm gonna use the down frame again while it's going back up, and then again slightly up. So that's like a really extra version of that. That's like a really simple but extra version of that. You could just straight up put the ears on the same bouncing layer. You could also take the uppies and instead put them here. So they kind of go boing. So, like, literally most of what I'm teaching you is, like, you draw, like, 4 pictures, and then you move the position of where the pictures are. And it kind of changes, like, the way that the animation, like, it looks super different, like, depending on how you arrange the frames. And, like, it's really up to your preference. But this is, like, the head bomb meme ever, okay? This is, like, that. Now, if you want to add a little bit more pizzazz to this, you're going to do the scariest thing on human Earth, and you're going to want to combine all your layers. Now, I don't recommend doing this until you are absolutely all the way done, and you want to add the final touches. We're going to do some squashing. We're going to squish some frames and stretch some frames. Squishing? That's not a real word. Squishing and stretching are kind of what makes Persona Project, and I really think it adds a lot of pizzazz to regular animation. So, you know, you have like the body isn't really moving that much. Nothing's really moving in unison except for the ears and the mask on this meme. So we're gonna go and we're gonna stretch it upwards. And then when it comes down, we're gonna squash it. Most programs have this ability. And then again, back up just a little. And it really adds this little subtle bounce. It just really makes it a little bit more lively because it moves the body, but you don't have to draw a whole new body. Or a whole new anything. You're just stretching your animation. And stretching and squashing it, I believe it's like some programs call it like skew or the transform tool, but it's the one that allows you to really distort the frames. Like, here's a better example of how you could distort it. Like, it really wants you to be able to, like, stretch the thing. It's usually like there's a stretch tool in pretty much everything I know of. But you're just gonna use it super subtly. Like, you're gonna control yourself. You're not gonna make distorted, scary versions of your characters, right? Haha, right? So that's like a head bounce. Animation meme kind of style head bounce. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can, like, obviously do like a head bounce. If you're looking for something a little more not so cartoony bouncy, something like a little more mature, I can show you how to do like a kind of a cool head bob. Goodbye, Mushio. So let's do gotta pick a character for this, don't I? Let's do May. I haven't done May. So I'm gonna get my little sketch here. Again, try to have your whole character on the screen. You can edit it later, you can zoom in as far as you want later, but like to make your life easier, God, just make sure your whole character is in view. Like the head at least. Not being cut off. Just save yourself the trouble. But yes, this one is gonna require a lot more work. If you want it to be more, I don't know, mature or whatever, more tedious, you're gonna draw every frame. All of them. By hand. There is no tweening, there is no uppy downy, stretchy. You're just gonna draw all of them. And this is where animation gets less fun and more tedious, because it's more detailed. So I drew a May. She's about to be vibin'. So you're gonna do the same thing, but you're just gonna draw it all by hand. And it's gonna look really different, obviously, because you're doing it by hand. But honestly, my best advice is to trace right over it. Like, right over it, right? And then make the subtle changes right on top. So if we're going down, all of her little floofies are gonna go down.
I literally just woke up. Here to tell all of you to dab on them haters. Cringe is dead, y'all. Dabs away.
Thank you, Fizzy. That's so beautiful. Oh, Fizzy, you always have the best donos, I swear. I literally just woke up. Dab on those haters. The text-to-speech does so much justice, I love it. Yes, but you're gonna go, like, all your features are gonna be moving. So, like, all of it's gonna go downwards. But I like to trace right over, and then very subtly move it down. Because then it's really smooth. Because then you have everything very exact. God, I hear this song everywhere. What is this from? It's from Pokemon. Just which Pokemon game is it? I see. It's from Sun and Moon. That's probably why. I never played that game. I mean, I played that game, I just didn't play it a lot. But... okay, so you have the down frame, and then I usually just copy my before frame, and then I go up. Like my resting frame. So now we're gonna go up. But again, I'm gonna use this, and then we're just gonna change the features as if we're going up. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but you just gotta trust me on that. Like, you really do. I have saved so many of my animations from being really choppy and uneven by doing this method. Don't draw the body yet. You're gonna move the head up slightly and then draw the body. Okay. So we got 3 frames, that's 3 frames, and then we're just gonna, you know, trace this one exactly, because you got to do the smooth frame. You're doing a lot more traditional animation here, you're not tweening like the last one. As bouncy and fun as it is, this is the more proper way to do it, so it's, you know, gonna be extremely excruciatingly painful. So you gotta trace everything as best as you can. And then you get something kind of like this. Which is not the same, and you obviously are gonna have to fix some features, like, oh, this doesn't go down far enough, let's bring the faces up and down more. To really dramatize it a little bit more. And it's like, honestly, a really hard thing to do, because you're just gonna be cutting this thing up into a million pieces, being like, oh, this doesn't look like a head bob yet, we're just gonna erase a bunch of stuff, move it down. Like, I don't animate like this anymore, I freaking hate it, it just kills the vibe. I like doing the bouncy, fun, easier way to do things. It's a lot more painful to do it this way, in my opinion. And it's not as fun, like, I don't know, to me this is not the fun way. So I just recommend doing the boing yoing, the bouncy version, with the tweening, because it's just more fun, it's just easier if you're like just starting out. Like, this is like annoying, like I'm even struggling right now, like I hate doing it like this. I don't even remember how I used to do this. But yeah, that's like head bobbing. The thing that I'm really excited to teach you is the hair flowing thing, because that took a lot of practice on my end to kind of figure out. So let's go ahead, let's do that. Let's do the fun stuff. I'm gonna, let's see, hair flowing. Gotta think of a character. This is always so hard for me because I have to think of them on the fly and I'm like, oh no, wow. Okay, let's do Toka. So we're gonna have Toka moving in the wind, which is great because we're also gonna include ears. So the thing that's not gonna move about this animation is the face, when you're gonna do any kind of like hair flowing in the wind kind of thing. And like, you can choose to animate like parts of their clothes that are flowing as well, but for the sake of my sanity, I'm not gonna do that. So we're just gonna have Toka kind of chillin'. Alright, so once I color this in, we're gonna go on the layer underneath, and we're gonna color this in first, and we're gonna layer underneath, and then we're gonna do a bunch of hair in the wind movement, which will be fun. Alright, so this is one of my favorite things to animate. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna draw all your features at resting point. This is like your starter frame. So this is like, okay, Toka's just chilling. And then we're gonna turn this down. And then you're gonna wanna obviously connect everything underneath so you could color it in easier. Not recommended to do it other ways, or else you're gonna be freaking fighting with your paint bucket tool or coloring it in agonizingly slow. So, I'm gonna trace this frame once, just to give it that smoothness, smooth frames. I like doing the smooth frames first, before in-betweens. I know it's kind of backwards, this is just my animation method, which is kind of backwards because I'm not a professional. And then depending on which way the wind blows, I like to have the wind blowing in all kinds of fun directions usually when I do, like, you'll see this in Persona Project sometimes. I like to do, like, left and right. So, let's go left. We're gonna go... Hair is gonna dramatically go left. So all the features are just gonna go very dramatically windswept this way. Which means these are gonna be, like, more pushed up against the face, and this ear is gonna be kind of tucked this way. So you've got, like, a sizing issue already. Usually I have to resize my images quite a bit to keep it the same size, because I tend to be, like, making everything giant when it doesn't need to be. So once you have the left, you're just gonna give it an extra little tiny bit more that way. Not a whole lot. Just to give it a little smoothness of its own. And then you're gonna bring it back center by copying one of your center frames. And then you're gonna go right. So it's the same thing going right. Going all the way that way, really, like, pushing your features is what's gonna make this look a lot better.
I have no news this time. I'm just here to remind you that I exist, and that I always come back. No, wait, no. It's, that I'm always watching. Watching you. All of you.
Cameraman! Let's go, cameraman! God. I don't know, cameraman, you always come back, you say. Or no, you're always here. No. Text-to-speech actually read that quite dramatically. That was actually pretty good. Honestly. Well done. Well done. Yes, but we're gonna, again, kind of really pushing the features even just a little bit more. It's just, oh, it's so fun. And then you have something that's kind of like this when it looks really weird in the beginning, okay? It's because we're not done. But it's you have a left and a right, okay? You have a left and a right. So when you go left, the thing that you're gonna want to, like, do is kind of make a in-between that brings it back to the center. And that's why I say copy the center. Because now you can see, okay, you got a lot of lines going on here. Maybe it's good to turn this off and this off so you can see exactly what you're doing. But you can see, okay, the ear goes from here to here. So you need to make a connection between all of these and the ear. So you're going to want to put it somewhere right in the middle. This is why they call it an in-between, because you're basically seeing, here's my 3 floofs there versus here. So you're going to want to make floofs that go right in the middle of both. Which can be really hard to master. Like, it is definitely a practice makes perfect thing. But it helps kind of push it back. And you're going to want to, like, play with the frame rate a lot when it comes to the wind going in hair. You might even want to bring your other in-betweens into the resting state. And then before you bring it back to here, we're going to do another in-between. Of doing the same thing of, like, okay, these guys, these floopies are here and here. We gotta go right in between that. It's very experimental, very tedious, in my opinion, to do. But you're trying to get a middle ground between these frames. Which is not easy. But it'll be something kind of like this when it's like choppy. And like you don't want to go too far before, you know, you start copying a bunch of frames and stuff. Honestly, I would have colored a long time ago, honestly. I'm just gonna go ahead and color this while I'm on this stage, because the next stage of this is basically just copying what we already did and rearranging the frames a little bit. So that way we can make it really smooth. So I'm just gonna color it in at this stage, so that way I'm not having to recolor a bunch of frames I've already drawn over and over again. Unless you have the time for that, be my guest. I'm a stickler for saving time.
I hope all of you are being nice to each other. Please donate to Hawley if you can, because they deserve all the support and french fries.
Aww.
Crab walks away.
Comfort Crab! Is that Comfort Crab? It sure is, heck yeah! Thank you, Comfort Crab. God bless Comfort Crab. Oh, that's so sweet. You know, it'll always be a mystery. I never know who these people are. They always change their name to be Comfort Crab, but I'm always like, thank you for that. Thank you, Comfort Crab. Salute. I just realized this whole time I never drew Toka's eyes. I apologize. That's kind of creepy. Alright. So now that we have the basic frames, we can make this look a lot smoother. So, I'm gonna go 5s. I usually like going 4s or 5s when it comes to the wind blowing. But as you can see, there's like this little part where it stops. Like here. And that doesn't feel very natural, so I'm gonna like take it away. That's a lot better. See, sometimes you can have too many frames. I still think that there's too many, so we're gonna get rid of that. This is why I said to color it last or first.
Everyone, kneel to the Comfort Crab.
Oh, hail Comfort Crab! Thank you, Tyler, it's so funny. But yeah, this is a much smoother animation. I always go for way more frames than I actually need, because you never know what you're actually gonna need until you're trying to figure out the vibes you're going for. So this is how I kind of do, like, wind in the hair animation. And it looks so nice and smooth, and you can obviously change it however fast.
Been watching your amazing creations since I was a kid.
Aww.
I'm now an adult. Keep up the good work.
Aww. Oh my god, we grew up together. That's so awesome, dude. I've been making this since I was a kid. That's so cool, man. Oh my god, Corbin Scree. That's so freaking awesome, dude. Thank you for the dono. That's so freaking rad. Oh gosh. But yeah, that's like a pretty complex animation, I would say. Yes, the character doesn't move, but it is a lot of moving parts. And obviously, you don't have to include, like, ears. You could just do the tufts of hair. But it's very much the same concept of, like, very much dramatically pushing your features left and right. That's pretty much it. And I really love doing these types of animations, like... Oh, I think I have it in an animation meme I'm working on. I could pull that up, actually, for a different kind of style and how you can apply it later. Let me grab it. Blah, blah, blah. Because, yes, I am working on a lot of random projects in the background that don't really see the light of day most of the time. But here's, like, a example of the wind blowing in an animation meme I'm working on for 12. And how you can kind of play with the wind going back and forth. And how the character doesn't really move, but the features do. Like the ears and the hair. And you can have it kind of rest on one frame longer than the other to make the wind kind of alternate. Like that one played twice. Boom, boom. Like 2 gusts in the same direction. So... that's how you can apply this. You could really just take, like, this frame example and really stretch it out and replay these couple frames a couple times. Like this. to really make the wind blow a little stronger in that direction. You can add more frames to that to make it smoother, but that's kind of like, these are like the basic frames that you need to really explore the wind. Oh, yeah. So, let's see, do I have any other really easy... Ooh, I could do a teleport. Teleporting is fun. Okay, this is 100% very much a me style thing. It's a little complicated. So I'm just gonna show you guys how to do like a little kind of a fun teleporting kind of vanishing animation. Because it's really easy and you only have to draw your character once. Most of these like very starter level things that I've picked out are things that you only have to draw your character once to accomplish. Alright, let's do Rory from In Tandem. So Rory's a fennec fox. She's got these big ears. So we're gonna do like if she was teleporting. So you're gonna draw your character, like your whole character, all features, everything, as you normally would. So you're just gonna draw them, and then you're gonna color them and get them all set, ready to go. That was so uneven. That was like crazy. What is my problem? Okay. So Rory is this little fennec fox reaper. She can teleport, so that's why I was like, you know, this will be the one to teach you how to do the animation thing. Alright, so color her in. She's pink. She's very pink. She's pink all the way. I'm not gonna do a very detailed job because, yeah, but I will give her little signature fennec fox little tears. The bare minimum here. Alright, so once you got it all colored in, the magic will happen here. We're gonna go on a completely different layer. Turn her down, probably above, it doesn't really matter because it's all gonna go on the same layer eventually, but this is how I measure things out. So you're essentially going to, like, disintegrate your character. This sounds horrible, but this is how I do it. You're gonna take blobs, really big blobs to start of where your character is. You can add some little ones too. And then from those blobs, you're gonna separate those blobs into smaller blobs. You're going to shrink all your bubbles. And then you're going to shrink them again. And you're going to keep going until there is nothing left. Sometimes when I'm on the very last one, instead of putting a dot, I'll put a little X or a plus that's like a sparkle. It's like that's a sparkle, that's a sparkle. Lots of these can be sparkles, but they can also alternate and be dots too. Alright, so you have this by the end, right? And then you're gonna want an empty frame as well. A couple empty frames. Cool! So once you have, like, where your character was, and it kinda, like, poofs away, color this in. I usually do this part all white, because it's just easier, in my opinion, to show you how to do the everything. Cool. So once you have all that, it kind of looks like this. We're not there yet though, because we gotta do some stuff with the actual character. So what we're gonna do is, my program has a fancy thing. I don't know if everybody's program has this. I can basically color over my character. And I'm gonna change the background color so you can see this a little better. I'm gonna color over my character white. Now you could always just, you know, select around your character invert it and then color it that way. But you're gonna want to put that like a layer above. If you can see my layers, which you should be able to. There's 2 layers, one with Rory right below it, and then the white right on top. And you're basically gonna get this to fade into white. You can do that by turning down the opacity. I almost said audacity. My lord have mercy. My program has a fade feature, which I abuse a lot. And it's gonna go from being colored to being all white. However way you want to get that done, there's lots of ways you can do it. This is just the way that I choose. And then you're gonna line these up like this. Right? Except, we're gonna turn off the hold. And I, just as a thing, I like to go over and make all my line art white when it comes to the teleporting because it just looks nicer to me, especially in a dark background. And then you'll get something like this. Teleport. Vanish. Whoosh. And it's really fun. Because you can also just straight up reverse this if you so want. And it could be whoop. And that's how I do a teleport for a character. That's entirely something that I have come up with for like the past 10 years of animating. And you can obviously speed this up quite a bit. Like that. But that's kind of my method for getting a character to kind of teleport. It's really fun. Really simple. Teleports behind you. Oh god. So that's kind of a easy animation. It's only 4 frames. If you don't count the actual character, it's like some particles. It's very easy. Very simple little animation here. And with that, I want to go into talking about animating particle effects, because I think they're some of the easiest and most fun things that can add so much flair to your animation, and I love doing them. And I want to teach you guys the main ones that I use in Persona Project, because I use them so much. Say goodbye to Rory. Goodbye, Rory. So let's do some, like, simple, like, effects, right? Rain has to be the easiest thing in the whole wide world. Like, as long as you're paying attention anyway. Trust me. When I do rain sequences, I will make a set of lines like this. Turn the opacity down, and then I'm gonna follow it. Because, trust me, you're gonna lose track of where those raindrops are going, and this will help you give an idea of where your raindrops are gonna be. So, you're gonna turn on your light table, and I like to start by just putting a couple random raindrops down. So then I'm gonna follow one raindrop. So this, I'm gonna follow this one. You're just literally gonna follow this path down for a couple frames. Until you go all the way to the top. So that way it loops, like that. And you're gonna do that for each one. Like wherever you put it, okay, this one's here, here. Maybe a blank frame before it comes back. That might be a good idea for this guy too, so we'll erase this. And then you literally just follow your own little format you made. And we got one more in the corner. Kind of like this. So then you got kind of a loop. And you can kind of see where the raindrops are falling. Now you can turn this part off, and you've got rain. Whee! It's really choppy because I didn't use that many frames, but you could make this look a lot better by adding some more frames. And also speeding up the animation does not hurt. It does not hurt to turn up your animation frame rate sometimes. I'm gonna turn this way, I think. There we go, that's smoother. Yeah, I like to turn up rain pretty fast. So there's like an easy, very easy, you could use this as like, you know, Star Wars warping effects. Or you could use it as rain. But that's kind of like a very simplified version of raining animation.
Yo.
Yo.
Happy to see you're doing well.
Yo! Thank you, Will. That's awesome. Thank you for the freaking dono, dude. That's so freaking slay. I am doing super duper today. Why is the chat talking about disintegrating people? What is going on? I checked the chat for- I'm teaching you how to do rain and the chat's like going bananas. I don't know what's going on in there. Alright, anyways. That's a really easy rain. But, something that I really use a crap load. Let me be careful, YouTube. I love you, YouTube. Just don't demonetize me, YouTube. Something I use a ton is fire. And I want to show you the best way that I've learned to animate fire. Oh my goodness, I love fire so much. I have an episode of Persona Project coming about it very soon because I'm obsessed. You're gonna want to use a very bright orange, okay, for this. And you're gonna want to trust me on this. You're gonna want to use like a, or not like a red orange, more like a yellow orange, okay? And I like to do my flames very blocky. Like, I don't know what it is about my style of animation, but I love doing, like, this kind of fire, which makes no sense. You could just go like this, like everybody else. Doesn't really matter. Whatever style you so desire to do fire. I just choose, like, a very blocky. And you're just gonna start with, like, a fire. Little zigzag. Whatever you want. And you're just gonna move your points up and down. So this one's gonna go down, this one's gonna go up, and this one's gonna go up. But you have to kind of remember, okay, that guy went down, so now he's gonna go back up, this guy's gonna go down, this guy went up, but I think he's gonna go up for another one. And then you're gonna want to try and do like a couple frames. Sometimes I'll do 4, sometimes I'll do 3. But you're basically trying to get back to this frame in the smoothest way possible. So I'm going to trace right in between this. So this is the start of it. 4 frames. 4 frames is usually my go-to. And as you can see, naturally on the right, it's a really strong movement. So when it's up, great. When it's down, I think I'm going to add a little particle. That's gonna kind of come off the fire. Oh, I did that backwards, hold on. I got myself confused. Because you want to add a couple little particles here and there. We could even do one coming off of this as well. Like that. So when you got like, you know, a couple little stray particles here and there coming off the fire. I like to make them come off the more dramatic flames. This part's a little weird, bear with me. You've got to add a white line in the middle. And you're gonna want to just kind of follow the flow of the other little flames. So if they go up, the white will go up with them. Not too dramatically. This is kind of the base of the fire. So it's not really gonna leave, but it will react. And again, I'm gonna go right in between these lines here, because that keeps it nice and smooth. And then you'll get something like this. And the key about coloring this in is to use a gradient. And you're going to want to use the exact orange, you know, colored, you know, paint drop that. Oh, hello, cat. Please don't do that. Thank you, darling. My cat is here. Indiana Jones, otherwise known as Bibby, says hello. I don't know if you can hear him purring, but he is very happy. Hi. Mwah. You're so cute. Here, you want your... he has a spot right next to me when I'm drawing, and he's probably like, excuse me? I want my cat tower. He has a little cat tower that goes right up to my chair, so he can sit next to me. Go on. Go in your spot. Go in your spot. Thank you. He's bibbing. He's bibbing everywhere. He's bibbing. Alright. So you want to get a gradient of the orange that you used, and then a nice bright yellow. And you're going to want the yellow to be on the bottom, towards the white. And you're just going to kind of color this in by keeping the yellow, again, towards the white. And then, obviously, color in the white part white. Alright. I did that all in the other layer. Whoops, now I can just flip that. And then you'll get something like this. And you might think, wow, that looks great. You're not done though. Because the last thing that you're going to want to do is kind of add an effect if your program allows such a thing. If you can add a glow, or even adding a border. I like to add a red glow to mine. And it really makes this thing pop. Because it just makes it look warm. And that is how I animate my fire. As you can see, the glowing, like, just makes it really something. And that's kind of how I do fire effects. So this is my very simple kind of fire animation. I actually learned this by watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, like frame by frame, how they animated fire, and I was like taking tips from like just watching my favorite shows. Oh man. So that is some really easy effects. I have some other ones that are less easy, but I think we'll do one last one. I'm gonna teach you guys how to do a twinkling star, like a star in the, like, starry night sky, because it's one of my favorite things to animate. Twinkling stars, my beloveds. So let's go ahead and get our background blue. Goodbye, fire. Now this is one that you really... it can be tedious. You gotta pay attention to this animation. I'm gonna do 4s, and you're gonna want a lot of frames. And you're gonna want to turn your light box on. And you want the background to be a color that you can see. Trust me. And the idea is really simple. You start with a circle, and then the circle grows bigger and smaller. And that's kind of like the concept. It's something like this. But you're gonna do it a million times over and overcomplicate it. My best advice for twinkling stars, if you don't want to go that basic, is to do a circle, then do like a little X, then do your star, then have the star kind of twirl back into like an X again, a circle again, and then a really small circle. That's like a twinkler right there. As you can see, my point A and point B moved a lot, so you're gonna want to like copy and paste frames more so that way you can see where it's supposed to be. Because it is really hard to keep it where it's supposed to be when it comes to these kind of animations. But that's like how I do a twinkling kind of star animation. There's so many ways you could do this, but I love doing these so very much. I mean, obviously Persona Project has a lot of these twinkle and stars in it because it's just so easy and fun to animate. But yeah, I love doing stars very, very, very much. And oh, doing a whole night sky on a loop is something else. Like, you just basically repeat the process, and sometimes you can make the twinkles last a really long time, or sometimes they don't last all that long at all. Like this one I'm gonna have go small, then really big, then small again. And then we have these two. And you literally can just keep going. Like, I will just be like, okay, time for a new star. Sometimes I'll do 3 frames where they just blink once. And I like to do it really randomly. Do a couple 3s. Like, look how cute it already is!
Do you play Stardew Valley?
Yes, of course I play Stardew Valley, Will! Oh my gosh, Abigail's my- Oh my gosh, you done it 10 times? I didn't know you get an achievement for that! Oh my god, that's so cool! You got some freaking balloons! Let's go! That's freaking awesome. That's awesome. Dang. Can't believe it's been 10 times already. Crazy, dude. But yeah, no, Abigail is my one and only. I love her. She's my everything. I'm an Abigail diehard. I'm an Abigail fan. Alright, I'm gonna do a 4-frame one as well. Oh, this music's like perfect for this. Look how cute. Honestly, the other thing that you could do to get away with this is just to add a bunch of stars that don't move. And then I'll teach you how to do a shooting star as well, because they're really easy and fun. I just remember when I first started out, this was like some of my favorite stuff to do, was doing night sky, starry kind of stuff. So here's how it looks when you like add a background, so you don't have to animate that much. Look how cute! Oh! So now to do a shooting star, it's really easy. I'm gonna add it right in the middle of the animation. So you're gonna start with a dot. And then your dot is going to turn into that little X or plus. Then you're gonna get the star. Star again, but probably a little bit smaller. Big dot, and then little dot. And you're gonna have it move across the screen like that. And then you're gonna add the trail. Which obviously, it's going to be very small to start, and then get large, and then kind of like that. Ta-da! Shooting star! Very easy. See, anybody can animate. Look at that. Starfy! I love Starfy, bro. Starfy's an underrated game. Oh yeah, so this is one of my favorite animations to do. It's so simple. And it looks so nice. I mean, you see, I animate these things in like under 10 minutes. Like, for sometimes 5. And they're just... Oh, they're so wonderful! And these are the things that I think are really important to like animation. Like, yeah, a bouncing ball is nice and all, but like, oh, who doesn't want to learn how to do this? This is the stuff I really, really, really wanted to learn, but like, there wasn't like tutorials online. I just had to sit there and struggle forever. Ugh. So I hope you guys are enjoying my infinite wisdom here. Just to top it off, I think I will show you guys how to do a bouncing ball animation and why I find it so absolutely dreadful. Say goodnight. Say goodnight to the night sky. Good night, night sky. Bouncing ball is so simple that it just bores me in the sense that, like, you won't use it unless you're, like, doing an animation of, like, a dog playing fetch or something. Like, it's just, it doesn't come up often. But it does teach you the basic fundamentals about the squash frames of stretching and squashing. So, you're gonna start with the ball on one side of the screen. Then you're gonna squish it, and it's gonna stretch. And you're gonna stretch that thing all the way over to the other side of the screen. And then when it gets to the other side, it's gonna squish like a pancake. And then it's gonna be a circle. And then that's kind of like the concept is like, it like boing, right? And if you want it to go back, then you just literally ping pong the animation. Well, it was supposed to ping pong and it just totally did not. Whatever program. But you can literally just copy and paste it backwards. Like literally. That's why it's such an easy one, because you could just whoop all the way back. And then you have a loop of it bouncing back and forth. And that's the bouncing ball. That's the bouncing ball that I'm referring to. It teaches you how to squish circle and stretch circle to give the illusion of movement. And it is a really good fundamental, but I feel like it's a fundamental for, like, in-depth, like, frame-by-frame animation. And I personally think the little tiny animations that I've taught you, you'll use a lot more than this. But yeah, this is my level 1 little spiel here. I have a couple more things that I'd like to teach. But those are a little more complex, and I also want to have enough time to do a little Q&A with you guys. So, why don't we go ahead? Let's do some Q&A now. Today we have learned how to do eye blinking, ear flicking, tail wagging, different kinds of tails too. And then we learned how to do some character animations like head bobbing, wind blowing in the hair, teleporting.
Ayo, out here animating my brain cell.
Yeah. It's your brain cell. There it is, bouncing around. I actually have my brain cell, as like an animation that can pop up on my— this is a depiction of my brain. Bibby, stop it. Stop. He wants my attention so bad, y'all. This is a frozen pea that bounces around in my brain. And this is the visual depiction of the pea rattling around in my brain. Just so everybody's aware. This is my brain cell. I'm so glad that somebody brought up the brain cell thing, because I still have this animation that I made forever ago. And it is here, and I love this stupid pea brain. It's funny as hell. Anyways. Oh god. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, this is a good time for some Q&A. As my cat continues to try and ruin my life. He has, like, such a short attention span nowadays, because I work from home. Hey, mister. That's not nice. It's not very nice of you. I'm actually gonna take him out of the room. Give me, like, 2 seconds while I do that. Can I? You're bothering me. Oh, I cracked all my bones like an old freaking hag. Hopefully nobody heard me literally breaking all my bones, picking up my cat off the floor. Oh god, what breed is my cat? Stupid, I don't know. He's orange, man. He's orange, and he's angsty. He's a baby, but he's angsty. He's just, they call him domestic short hair. I don't know. He's a dumpster cat. Got him out of a car engine when he was 2 days old. Arm moving animation. That feels a little more complicated. We're gonna save that for another day. Like, what's the cat's name? His name is Bibby. His full government name is Indiana Jones. I don't know how it devolved to Bibby, but we only call him Bibby, or B-Bay. B-Bay. That's my B-Bay, B-Bay. Oh gosh. What's the name of the owner who owns May? Oh god, I don't know anymore. She had a name. She had a name! Oh no, I don't remember her. Oh no, I don't remember the name of May's owner. Dang, dude. It's probably, I probably have it written down somewhere. I do not know. What apps do I recommend? It's a hard thing to say because I only use a very limited amount and they've just worked for me. I really enjoy obviously my TV Paint for animation, but it's really expensive, so I'd recommend like Flip-A-Quip. I like Procreate. I really love Clip Studio. Clip Studio is a good one. It's just good for art in general. Animation's a little rough on Clip Studio though, but I know Fire Alpaca is pretty good as well. If you're looking for like just a free drawing program, like there's so many nowadays. Like I'm sure the chat will have way more recommendations than me because I've just had the same programs for like a decade. Recommendations for animated objects with unique textures. Animate very slowly and animate like every little thing at a time. Like if you're animating like, I don't know, like an example, like a yarn ball that has little strings sticking out. Animate the ball part, then animate the string, like string by string, like one by one, to make sure it's all lined up. Like just take your time with it and do detail by detail. So that way you can keep track of everything. Trying to draw everything, like, at once is gonna drive you insane. Oh yeah, the one I can't pronounce. Ibis Paint. I call it IBS Paint. That's definitely not what it is. I just, dyslexia, I read something one way once, and then it's stuck that way forever. I don't know. Oh yeah, Fizzy, definitely wear 2 pairs of socks. It's been cold lately. You can always just, you know, take off 1 pair if you need to. Like, I just rather would go more prepared than underprepared. What's my favorite food? French fries, my beloveds. I love them. I ate a whole bunch of them last night. Before I went to bed, I was like, you know what? I'm doing great today. I'm gonna have a plate of French fries. And later I'm gonna cook up some tofu. I'm very excited. Ugh, I might actually do that right after stream. I'm hungry. I want some tofu and rice. Delicious. I'm like almost a vegan. Almost. I can't be a full vegan or else I'll probably whittle away because I have too many food allergies and meat keeps me alive, but man, do I love getting to eat alternatives as much as often as possible as I can. My favorite animal? Cheeks? Oh, I don't know. Right now that's a tough thing, because like, when you're going through like a, I don't know, healing arc, it's just like I kind of realize I don't really have an identity. And it's kind of weird. Like, I used to think I had favorite things, and then I'm realizing that I didn't. I did at one point, and then at some point I lost the ability to have an identity and favorites. So right now it's like really, I don't really know. Like, I love dinosaurs. I don't know if that counts. But I also really love cats. That's like been a constant fixation of mine, but I don't really know. It's like hard. Easy questions are actually hard sometimes. Because like, when you go through a lot of trauma and stuff, your identity kind of is elsewhere. Like, my identity is with my abusers, unfortunately. Like, without them, I didn't really know who I was, and it still kind of feels that way, even years after. I'm still trying to develop, like, likes and dislikes. What is it like to get a personality? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, the waffle. I'll let you know when I do figure it out. All I know is that I have made Robin into a person that I want to be, and then I strive to be like Robin, where I'm like, wow, that's a cool persona, I want to be like that, I'm gonna be more like Robin, I'm gonna stand up for myself and have boundaries, I'm gonna heal, I'm gonna unmask, like, that's what I want to do, yeah, so I kind of just made a character to base it off of, because that's how I personally respond best, is to have something to look up to, and to kind of mimic, because like, as an autistic person, it's just a lot easier for me to do that than to be myself. It's almost like making a mask that isn't a mask. It's like unmasking the but mask. I don't know how to explain. It's like 40 autism chess. How did I find out I was part of the LGBT? Inky, I always knew. I like literally always knew. Like I said in one of my newest shorts, like I was like kissing girls at 6 years old. And I never felt wrong at all. Like I never felt like, oh god, I should hide this, or what if somebody finds out? Like I never cared about that. That's just the wild child in me. That's permanent. It's just I do not care. Like I just knew that that was me and that was fine, and that I've never liked boys, and that I've never liked anybody really. And so it's like, wow, like I just didn't know there was names for these things. So when I became like a teenager and people are like, oh, do you not swing that way? Like I had a girl like crushing on me, and then she was like, oh wait, do you not swing that way? I'm sorry. And I was like, no, actually I just don't swing at all. And she was like, oh, so you're asexual. And I was like, what is that? I don't know what that means. And then I had to figure out, oh wait, there's a word for that? That's how I am. Oh, okay. So like I've always been a part of it. It's just a matter of like I figured out that there was names for things that I already experienced. And I was like, oh, so liking girls is like being a lesbian. Okay. And not liking anybody is being not like that. You know what I mean. Not wanting anything with anybody is being ace. Okay, cool. Now that there's names for these things, I'll wear these flags. That's cool. And like, there's other people like me, and I didn't know there was other people like me, so it was awesome. I've always been a part of it. I just didn't know the names of anything until I was a teenager. Who's the clock guy? That is Clockwork. Clockwork in Persona Project represents my complex post-traumatic stress disorder. You guys will get a really good introduction to the different disorders and things in my upcoming... Oh, hello!
Hawley, you know how last week I went to go chuck eggs?
Yes?
My friends and I wrote names of things we hate on them.
Yes!
I wanted to apologize for not writing Hawley's birthday on one of them.
You're not the only one who wants to do stuff like that to her. That's awesome. No, that's beautiful. I'll do it in my mind. I will think of me and Wild Child writing on Easter eggs and then going, okay, now let's destroy them! And I'll make it into a project for me and Wild Child at some point. That'd be very fun. But yes, in the upcoming special I have a special coming out very soon I'm working on for Persona Project that is gonna be like a 5-minute long Era's meeting episode, and you're gonna get to learn a lot more about the disorders. They do not speak, Maddie, no, they don't speak. The disorders don't speak. They actually... Oh, I don't have it nearby. Well, actually I could grab it. It's a thing! It's a thing! I have the thing! They sound like this. They're actually jingle bells. So whenever they move, you can hear them, and you can hear them coming. But they don't talk. And that's kind of why I put jingle bells on them, because when it comes to these disorders, you can kind of feel it kind of creeping up on you. And you can hear it coming, and you're like, uh-oh. Like, here it comes. Here comes the PTSD meltdown. Or here comes the anxiety, or whatever it is. So that's my little... That's my jingle bell. Sound effects, and I made them myself, and it's really fun. I can't wait for this special to come out. It's really close to being done. I'm on the lip syncing portion right now. So, final stretch. It'll be coming out on Christmas Eve. I'm gonna do a little premiere so you guys can react, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to think of all the eras. That jump scared you? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to jump scare y'all. When did I start animating? Almost a decade ago. In, gosh, 2015. So, I just was bored one summer and got an iPad and started animating with my fingertip and an iPad. Oh, goodness. Oh, everybody's so jolly in the chat. Let's go. Let's be jolly. Yes.
Drawing fan art. Hope I get done before Steam ends.
Oh, gummy gumdrop. I'm actually eating a gumdrop as we speak. That's so wonderful. Thank you for the fan art. Yeah, if you don't, it'll appear on next stream, so you got plenty of time. And anytime you want to use that link, it is always open. Like, even when the stream ends, if you're watching the VOD, you can still submit fan art there. Like, it never closes. So you can always submit it. No rush. Take your time. That's okay, Mineral Dude. I don't like saying that I'm aromantic. Because I am aromantic. But I'm also a lesbian, and it confuses people. And I usually like to just leave the ace aro label alone, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm 100% asexual. People understand that, but they don't understand the fact that I'm like, yes, I love women. They're amazing, and they're awesome, and I would love to be with a woman. But also, I don't want anyone to touch me ever, and I don't really want to go on a date. I'd rather just be platonic with a woman. And it's like, there's not really like a phrase for that yet, besides queer platonic, which I am queer platonic. And it's just, I don't know, like, my labels are super complicated, so I get uncomfortable saying I'm aromantic, because then I feel like I'm dismissing the fact that I can be. Because I can be. It's just really rare, and I don't really need it, and I don't really want it. So, some labels are confusing, and, like, I understand that completely. Just take your time with it. Use what's most comfortable for you. That's why I use the lesbian label, even though I'm mostly aromantic. I consider myself a little more lesbian than aro. So I'm like, okay, let's just use the lesbian thing. But saying ace aro and lesbian has been cool, because now there's an ace aro flag, so it's like, oh, now there's just a combo of both, which is wonderful, which makes me feel better about having, like, 3 labels. Oh, lithromantic? Is that a thing? I have to look that up. It is the aro spectrum. Absolutely. It's all a spectrum. If you guys made YouTube shorts for me, that's super cool. I get the @mentions a lot. God, I'm so sorry, moderators. The chat is being so terrible today. But if you guys do make stuff for me, I do see it on YouTube. On the @mentions. I have a lot of them to go through. I'm hoping to go through them and then get them all on the fan art feature on a live stream someday. But as of right now, it is very overwhelming, and I haven't seen most of them because it's just constantly pouring in. So I apologize for that. I do want to get to it though. Alright, gamers, so as I very slowly eat this gumdrop and try not to, like, choke on it, because I'm doing the dumb thing of chewing it and getting it stuck to my teeth. I don't know. I'll explain what I'm doing. If you've ever done that with the Jolly Rancher, you know it's a bad time. It's a bad time. God. But oh, I hope you enjoyed the art lessons today. I had a lot of fun teaching you guys how to do some little simple animations. It was just so much fun. I can't wait to do more of these. Oh, my chat is dead. Rip. There we go. Oh, there it's back. Okay. I was like, what happened to my chat? There we go. Alright, so... Okay, let's start wrapping up here, gamers. I had a lot of fun. I have got to get to recording. I gotta record for year 7 of Persona Project. I can't believe it. I can't believe it! I'm almost done! Recording Wild Child. Ah, I'm gonna cry! I'm gonna cry so hard! Oh, man. No. Can't believe we're almost done with Wild Child. But I am very eager to get on to the next ones, too. I'm hoping to get year 7 done in January, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna have Wild Child done by my birthday in March. So that's the big goal. The big goal is that we open up March with, like, Wild Child the movie, and it's the entirety of my childhood in 4K, all done. So that's the goal. That's the goal. But thanks guys so much for an awesome stream! Thank you for letting me ramble about art and teach you some fundamentals, haha, about animation. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm very happy to share, because I don't like gatekeeping things, and I've been doing this for like a decade, and while I'm not a professional, I have found some things that are helpful. So, I hope that you find them useful, and next time we're gonna play Wobble Dogs next week, because that was the second most recommended thing, so we'll go ahead and do that next week. And I'm very excited, because, oh boy, that's gonna be very chaotic. Oh, hydration check. You're right. We'll do that real quick, everybody. Yeah, we'll have another stream before the holidays, of course. This week we have the compilation of year 6 coming out, and yeah, year 7 will be starting. Already. If you can believe it. Oh my god. I can't. If you can't drink water, drink something that is liquid, like juice, or soda, or just something that has water in it. Trick your brain. Dink something. Dink some deuce. Dang. I do stream every Sunday. Same time, same place, unless I'm very sick. But I usually will let you know if I have to cancel for whatever reason. But so far, so good, man. Yes, Jade, I have heard demi-romantic. I don't really think that's how I feel, unfortunately. It does not fit me. But yes, gamers, it's been real, it's been fun. Oh, I don't want to end on this sad song, like, we're never gonna see each other again! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I'll see you next week and it'll be okay, guys. I hope you guys stay jolly, have a nice holiday season, and yeah, it's been real. It's been fun. We will play some silly video games next week. It'll be a goofy, silly little time. Until then, thank you guys for all the support, and here's to year 7 of Persona! Yeah! This week's gonna be awesome. Alright guys, boo-bye, boo-bye, boo-bye.